There it is. Hey, Rebecca. What's going on? Good evening. Welcome to the Fireside. Friday Fireside. I'm jipping you guys. You only got me tonight. Unless somebody else comes on and wants to hop on. If anybody's watching and wants to come on, you're more than welcome to hop on the Zoom with me and chat. What up, brother? Sorry for this week, man. Gonna talk a little bit about the chat. Yeah, only me. That was posted earlier today and talk some about good habit forming. It's hanging pretty good. I've got I've got college softball on to the side. Watching Florida. I'm a Gator fan. Not really because of the name. What's up, Con? Bro, what's going on? Happy Friday. How was y'all's week? Got college softball on the TV over there. So if I randomly look to the left, it's because Florida's beating Arkansas, and I'm kind of hoping they get to the SEC championship. I'm glad I can be a help. How was y'all's week? Or how's your month going so far? I know that there's definitely been some hard stuff, especially with some of these gaps. But let me tell you, this month feels so much better than the last couple months, in my opinion. Like, I'd say this is probably the best month of the year. Not that you can't get wrecked and get hurt, but the plays have been there, and you have had some breakouts with good, movement and stuff. Definitely, definitely some stuff there for sure. Although definitely difficult. You definitely have to be technical with it and really wait for the setup to come. But it is possible. Very green. Best trading week. Heck yeah, dude. Congrats, brother. That's amazing. I love it. I love hearing people do good. I had a really good one too. Did she? She struck out. Boo. Great job. Amazing job. Alright, so normal Friday night stuff, just going to chat. I'll chat with you guys. So don't have anybody coming on tonight. I'm going to talk some. I might try to pull up a video. I can't remember what trades I did this week. I didn't record today, but I think I recorded Thursday. I need to look at the charts to see if there was a trade that I want to review Thursday. But we'll look at the charts a little bit, look at the week. Not that my thoughts about this week or next week really matter all that much, other than just you're about to step it up. You're about to start sizing up. But not going to, well, I'll look at some of that, maybe talk about some trades. I want to talk about building habits, a little bit of habit forming stuff tonight. I'm actually working on a greater thesis for trading and ways to create a good habit based on a lot of research I've been doing and reading some papers and listening to some neuroscientist stuff about, habits and some other stuff like that. So I'm going to give kind of a preview of some of that and kind of talk a little bit about that tonight and some of my thoughts on it, on how to get consistent and what happens to your mind when you trade and some of the stuff like that. So if you're interested in that, we'll talk about that a little bit tonight. Answer your questions, just hang out for a little bit. So whatever, wherever it goes, it goes. So I'm Gator. Welcome to Friday Fireside. All right. So as always, especially on these shows, they're fairly informal. So just send any questions, type them in chat. I'll immediately answer them, or as quickly as I can answer them. No particular crazy format here. One quick note, I will be trying out other charting softwares. I am very displeased with TC2000. I've been really mad at them for about a week or two now. So if you look at my charts, I can delete this, right? So if I were to draw a trend line on this chart and then open up a new chart and draw the same trend line, I'll get actual different numbers. Like, it won't be at the same location. If I change between a trend line on the daily, the 15-minute, the 2-minute, it's at a different place. And I don't mean like a few dollars. I mean like it's way in a different place. Not the horizontal lines, but the actual trend lines that you draw. So it's like if I draw a channel on, let's go to Amazon. these have been here for a little bit and these haven't moved. But if you look at it on the 15-minute, you could see it's connected to a place. If you go on the 2-minute, oh, it's during the end of the day, so now they're okay. That's weird. So now they're working. It's really strange. Hourly, are we doing the same? So randomly right now they're working. Kind of. This is detached some. But during the day, my trend lines were all wrong. They were all over the place. They were not actually connecting, and you can see this isn't really connecting here either. They were not connecting to the right places. I would draw like a trend line on, what am I doing here? On this daily, and then I could go here and I could hit L and make this big and turn this into a daily and draw a trend line, and it would be an entirely different place. And there was just no way for me to get a consistent line, and it was really bugging me. So there's a good chance I'm going to download TOS over the weekend. I'm going to play around with their charts. There's a good thing I'm going to jump over to, yeah, I'm going to try TOS Con. I'm actually going to switch over to TOS over the weekend. I'm going to play with their charts to kind of get them set up the way I like them and mess around. I don't think I need to do a new like trading setup thing because I'm just changing softwares. All the indicators will be the same, but I'm not a big fan of my indicators going out in the middle of the day. Like I was trading some, and you know how I scalp levels, and I'm looking at these levels in the candle, and I might want to enter as a bar gets back into the meat of the candle, and I would be sitting there watching a 15-minute, and all of a sudden it would change on me, and like the level would change and something would shift. I'd be watching the 2-minute and something would shift, and I'm just like, yo, like I need these to be working because I use these to make money, and if you're not working, screw you, I'm not using you. So I'm gonna try TOS, get it downloaded, and then fool around with it over the weekend so I can use it. Little bit of random news there. So if other people have been having that issue too, especially the whole trend line stuff not being accurate and my moving average is kind of being off, it's like if my VWAP is in 5 different places on different charts, you know, it's just not, and you see these levels, you don't know which one's right. And if you're shorting off of a hit on that, it kind of jacks you up some. So thankfully it didn't mess me up, I don't think, today. But it's just one of those things I need to trust what I'm looking at, and I assume you guys are kind of the same. Yeah, I'm going to look at TradingView too. So I'm going to try TOS and TradingView. I might try TOS first and then TradingView next, just because TOS is free, I think, right? Are their charts free and their data free? I have to look into it. So I'm probably gonna, I mean, I've already paid for this one for like, I still have it, but I'm definitely gonna have a second option in case those trend lines are messing up, and I'll compare like TOS with TC2000. So just a random thing there. I thought today was good and garbage at the same time, in the sense of you had some names that were working. Tesla was garbage. I think the day was okay, but it's a Friday. When you get a gap up like this on a Friday, and a lot of these names, when Fridays are usually a little bit lower anyway, low volume after a crazy week, and then you just chop sideways for how long was this? Like how many hours? 3 hours of sideways trading. The one trade I did take, and I called it, was down here on the mic. So I did trade this I took this breakout. I might have got in somewhere down here, but I took this breakout off of this support. So you can see, like, if you're looking at a chart, and this is why I bought down here, it went down, it hit this level and started bouncing. And if you look left on a chart, that's usually what I try to do when I'm looking at these names. It might even, it wasn't this one I took, I don't think. No, I don't think I did. I think I was looking at something else, but it was one of these, and it was probably this one, because I took it and I was up like a point or two, and I was like, okay, we're gonna rip now. And then it just does this, and I think I like make 10 cents on it, or 20 cents, instead of making money, instead of making 2 points, and it kind of bounces around. I don't think I get back in it here, honestly. I think I miss it. I wait, and then here is where I take it. I may have taken it, I don't remember. I'd have to go check. Here's the next thing you look at. You know, a 2-minute 21 hits. You're still making higher, like you're going higher overall, so it's not like you're going lower. So you're kind of trending higher. The 2-minute 21 comes in, a lot of compression here. So you hit the 21 once, you hit the 21 twice, and you're still so compressed here. And I think I started talking about somewhere on this candle. I'm like, hey, just wait for it to come back down to the 760 level. I'm buying at the 760 level. It popped down in the 760, instantly went out. I got in, and then caught, bought, sold half of it somewhere up here. It actually pulled in if I go on a 1-minute chart. And this, the only reason I'm talking about this trade is I got off after this and I was done. 24. So just reviewing my day. So it's not as smooth if you look on the 2-minute. Where's 24 at? 1024. See, is this messing up? Is it just me, or is this jacking up now? Might just be me being stupid. 1018, 1-minute chart. 1018. Here you go. So yeah, bounce around down here. You can see the same thing on the 1. Pulled up. I think around here I got out at 1024. And then I scalped back in here and got out, and got back in as it ticked back up. Probably got a worse fill when I got back in, but just scalped it and then got out, and I was done for the day. I was like, and I'm done for the day. I think. I'd have to go back and watch the exact entries and exits on that. It's all free, Jay? Nice. Incon. Sweet. Yeah, I'm going to try TOS. So, either way, that was how on a choppy day, I just sat there. And I think I said it on the mic, and like I don't see much here, and I was looking at Tesla. I should have rotated. Amazon was strong. I think I did end up scalping some Amazon after the fact, and making a little bit, or I had made some in Amazon before I traded the Tesla. But I definitely should have focused Amazon, because this is what I thought Tesla was going to do at the open, guys. Like, Amazon went down and busted. This is what I wanted Tesla to do. I was watching Tesla instead of Amazon. So this is what I expected in my mind Tesla's chart to look like, and this is what Amazon's chart looked like. And while I did take a few trades in Amazon, that one Tesla trade was pretty much my day, and I missed this move, and I might have scalped some of this. Nice little buying point there, little pivot. So, yeah, that was my day. Good end to the week, honestly. It was a pretty good week. I don't know about the rest of you, but it was a pretty good week. I know Con said he had a really good week. I talked to several other traders that had really good weeks or decent weeks, or they thought they had some good action this week. And a lot of people said what they did was kind of wait for the setups consistent. They found the strength in the market, and then they took it, and they had a good day and that's kind of how they had their weeks. So, and then people who were overly aggressive early, I got messages from a couple people and saw people talking in chat about having hard weeks, and a lot of it was lack of discipline. So I want to talk about that for a little bit, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about what I'm about to say. And this is something I'm working on actually fleshing out and doing research on, so I'm kind of in the middle of this topic in my kind of research of it, because the things I'm about to say I have done instinctively or through training, and it works, but I don't understand why it works. And I want to understand why it works, so I can help other people put it into practice too and explain it. Because I just say, well, I just do this, and this is just what I do. And you just need to do that. And then, you know, it might not have a cause behind it, so you might be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I just need to sit down and trade or whatever. And what I'm saying now will make sense in a second. So let me know what you think about this in the comments, either live or after the fact. And obviously, leave a like if you can. If you're watching, you're here, leave a like. I really appreciate it. Share the content, share the video with other people if you think it's worthy of that. Really help the channel out, and, you know, help me out. We're just chilling here. So Noel. So let's see. EXO asked a question. Let's see. So XOXO in Discord, and if you want the link to our Discord, it's in the video description here. You should be able to join. If you can't, drop a comment asking for one, and I'll send you an invitation to our Discord. It's free. EXO said it really does seem like this room, like most others, he guesses, has two groups of people. One that has mastered the big down tilt days, and one that seems to do it mostly okay, but then wrecks themselves. you know, he said X times a month, however many times a month, with the kind of giant red tilt days. And then he asked if I would run a poll, which I can run a poll next week. Um, um, about to find out how many people in the room kind of are in one of these two camps. And I would say the camp would kind of be more consistency, who is consistent and who can handle their down days, who lacks kind of the consistency to do it, to handle the tilt days, or who has the discipline to kind of handle. What's up, Naveen? Yo, I've listened to a lot of your stuff on that you've been talking to with the trade review show. You got some really good stuff, man, and really good eye for the market. And if you guys don't know, while I'm reading this Discord, guys, Andrew does some amazing stuff, a lot of great content over in the trade review section. Does a show at the end of every day, almost every day at 4:15. He posts it in here. He doesn't tell everyone, but you can also watch the archive shows. So you can see archive shows, chat, all that kind of stuff. So you can throw some stuff up in here. You can review shows. You can come on those live trade review shows during the week, and they're really incredible. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. Um, it's I have learned a lot from it. I go back and listen to them, sadly, and not necessarily sadly, but because of what happens at 4, like the sitter leaves, I've got the kids, and then my wife is on the way home, and it's like she calls me, and I don't always have time to sit in there and watch it because I'm cooking dinner and stuff like that. But Naveen, who is Ari in our chat, and some other people come on there and do some talks and talk about trades and things they saw. And Drew does a great job. He spends his time doing it. So if you guys do want to do something, or you're trying to see what other people are seeing in the room who are profitable, XOXO, other people watching this, go on that show. Like, and I'm not saying you have to share anything, but go on there and just check it out. Go on there and listen to it after the fact. Go on there live and ask those people questions about how they identify, or how they choose what trades to take that Gator took, or that CT took, or something like that. And use the members of this Discord to help you. So for guys that are inconsistent or struggling with locating these trades and stuff, that room or that chat and that video thing is really great. And I've actually learned a lot from watching guys and seeing kind of how they view things, and it's helped me zoom out more and see kind of that big picture stuff. So I appreciate you guys and what you do. You've made me a lot of money. You can send me the bill, or Andrew can send me the bill. So but I appreciate that a lot, and I'm not usually in there, but I think in the future I will be, and I'm going to start, especially after I move, getting in that chat and doing some trade reviews and talking about my trades, watching other people's trades, and kind of talking through them. So to get back to the original question, and yeah, man, so it's he says that it's a super tough thing for a lot of us to beat, is getting over that tilt day, or not tilting. And he said that the issue goes deeper than standard solutions, just size down or trade your plan. Not that those aren't important, but if it was that easy, we would all have done it by now. So it is true. Two things. One, it is not easy. It's easier said than done, but it is that easy that if you do that, you'll be good. The problem is how do we do that? And this is what I've kind of been focusing on, trying to understand the reason why. So the reason why we can't do that is important, because XO hit on something, and he's saying that it's like, I can just say, hey, just size down. I can say, hey, just do this. I can say, hey, just stick to your trading plan. And I'm not wrong. And that's not a wrong answer, but it's not giving you an actionable item to actually do. And it's not giving you a how or a way to train that. So what happens in our minds when we trade. And then Noel had some, if you go back in Discord, guys, if you're in Discord, go back and look at this conversation. Really good conversation. I agree with a lot of stuff said, and then Noel posted a lot of good stuff. I'm not going to go through each comment. I mean, I could. I'll maybe hit a few of them, and I'll say some of the stuff that Noel said. And the first thing he said is, in his opinion, the issue lies with the control of emotion in the brain, or lack of control to stay disciplined and control. People tend to let the subconscious mind take over from the conscious mind, and when the things start to go wrong, you need to be aware of your thoughts at all times when trading. So we're gonna take on this, but I want to talk about habit forming, good habits when you're trading, and you're not able, and you'll have to excuse me as I work through this, because like I said, I'm working through this live right now. I'm working on a more put together thesis and like plan for people, and a well thought out kind of video, but this is just me talking through it because it came up in chat today. So, you know, we're gonna talk through it a little bit, and y'all can suffer through my thoughts. If you want to hang out and leave a like and all that fun stuff. But when you're trading, you get more than likely, especially if you're someone that gets wrecked, you are probably under some type of adrenaline rush or dopamine hit when you trade. So when you start trading, your body releases these chemicals. Your body releases this reward system for what you're doing. You take a trade, you get paid, and you feel rewarded. And we've talked about this before, how it's like a high, and how you can be chasing a high when you're trading if you're getting on an emotional, like if you're letting every trade get to you and every win get to you. And it's not about the process, and it's not about where you're at, and it's about all these other things. And it's about making money. What you're actually doing is chasing a high. And when you're doing that, you're not thinking clearly. You're going after more of that hit of that drug, that emotional reward that you get from making a certain amount of money, from printing 3 figures, 4 figures, 5 figures, whatever your really good day is. And it seems like the people, a lot of times when they blow up and tilt, are doing it because they lose focus on the long-term gain. And they lose focus and they lose discipline for that one day or for that 1 second. And there can be many different reasons why you do it. But let's talk about the habit of changing it maybe for a second. What's the habit? How does your brain develop habits? How have we come to, well, what happened? So there's two different, was it I'm trying to think of another one. That there's 2 chemicals that release. There's the dopamine and there's serotonin and something else. And I can't remember what it is, but it causes happiness. It does the same thing as dopamine, but you get it from actually relaxing, and you get it from long-term satisfaction. You get it from long-term winning. It's like when you're married. When you're first dating or early in the marriage, you go through the honeymoon phase on a macro level. So, you can spend more time with the person. You're just so excited to be around them. You're just pumped. You can do everything longer. You can, you'll be up till, you don't need to sleep. You can be up until 3 o'clock in the morning talking to them, and then get up 2 hours later, and you're just so in love. Oh my goodness, that you're, that you don't need all that stuff. You just got that hit of that, that love bug. Yeah, it is a deep topic. So cheers to the deep topic and the happy traders. I didn't do this earlier. So cheers to you guys, and your weeks, you banditos, you amazing bandits, as we continue to, yeah, serotonin is part of it, Jess. That's the first one. There's another one that releases, and this is what I mean. I'm not done kind of researching and writing this stuff down, so I can, there's 2 types of people. There's more than 2, but there's ways to understand things. It's like, you kind of know something, but you don't know it well enough to teach it. I'm trying to understand this and read it kind of behind the scenes. Cheers. So I can give the reason to why I do things, because I've done different things and I don't know why they work. It's like, hey, I do this and I trade better when I do this. Well, why? And that's what I'm trying to get to in this show, and what the conversation made me think of today. And it kind of goes to some behind the scenes stuff that I've been researching to kind of get out there to people who are struggling, to help them as traders develop good habits. So back to the analogy of a dating relationship or marriage, early on you have that, and that's kind of the same as trading. You have this unlimited amount of kind of like that hit and that energy, but later in your marriage you have more full on fulfillment and happiness, and you get a different kind. And although sometimes the dopamine and the passion and a lot of that stuff is still there, it doesn't necessarily or even have to die off. That goes down, and you get bigger hits of that deeper satisfaction, like sitting back and hugging your kids and holding your kids, or looking at a life that you've built together with your spouse. And there's this like greater like that you can look at and be like, look at this. And that is a system that is in our head, that was created in us, to give us a reward. We also have that dopamine level and that go-getter that gets us our reward. So we have these two different reward mechanisms within our mind for how we feel and how we act. So as you in your trading, early in the morning when you're first trading, usually you're getting that dopamine hit. You're getting that initial adrenaline punch to the face. I'm here. I'm going to make whatever I'm going to make today. It's going to be a this whatever day. And sometimes you've got too much of that and you don't trade really well, because you're all over the place and you're kind of, whatever. But that's what you're getting early in the day. Well, what happens, and you can't sustain, and now small rabbit hole, you can't sustain that all the time. It's just like caffeine. You can't stack, just caffeine, caffeine, caffeine on top of itself forever. Eventually, there's negative consequences. You can't just go, 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 go. At some point, you have to have that rest and reprieve. And trading is the same. Early on, you have that, and even early on in trading. So we're talking about the day, the micro level. You have those good wins. You have those good setups. On a week, you have those good days. You have those good days. And it kind of gets bigger from there. But after you have that early hit and rush, I think it's very important, and this is why I've talked about, and I didn't realize this until recently, this is why I've talked some about it's important to have it's important to have hobbies outside of trading. I think it's important, if you have kids, to be able to stop trading and go hug your kids and go play with your kids and go talk to your spouse, to take an afternoon off, to go on vacation, to even on a red day. And this is overall stuff, and I just decided to do this today. Talk about habit form, because it came up because some people have messaged me about some of this, about practical ways of doing stuff. This isn't completely fleshed out yet. I want to think it through, write stuff down so I get my thoughts together. So you're just hearing the thought process. But it's important to have both of those things working in your mind. It's important to be able to have that drive and desire to wake up and trade to make money or to support your family, because you need that. You need to wake up and want to do this job. You don't want to hate to do this. You need to get up and sit down and want to do this, and that's going to fire when you get going and you're making good trades and you're seeing setups. But then you can't stack that all day long, because you're going to wear yourself out. At some point, especially as a trader developing good habits, we're not talking about the seasoned pros, we're not talking about all this. You actually need to reward yourself for what you're doing, and during the day, taking a step back and realizing how blessed you are. And Mark used to talk about this. Geronimo has talked about this. Other people have talked about this. Even if it's being able to give to charity, helping people out in your family, supporting people, or supporting your family, holding your kids, taking them out to the park, walking the dog, getting some sunlight. Things that you couldn't do in your normal job. For me, go golfing in the middle of the week, do jujitsu, go work out. Reward yourself for stopping, but not just for stopping. Your mindset, I think, has to be like, look what I get to do. I'm a day trader, and even if I'm red today, dude, I don't care. That is the best job in the world. I'm a day trader. I sit down at a computer for an hour and I print money, and then I can go do other things. What allows me to do that? Is it just smacking stuff in the morning? No, it's not just smacking stuff like just smacking the trades in the morning. It's consistency. It's that couple $100 a day or couple $1,000 a day or whatever it is, or those good trades. And then on the red days, even walking away and still being grateful for where you're at and being grateful for what you have if you're doing this or attempting to do this full time. Amen. There you go. 4-mile walk on the beach at 10 a.m. Oh, that's nice. Or are you Wes? Where are you? 10 a.m. Do you only trade for 30 minutes, or where are you out of, Bex? Where are you out of for that? California? Okay. So 10 would be a little bit later. Yeah. Take a LA, nice. Take a walk on the beach if you're on the West Coast. Get out. How many jobs could you have where you come, you sit down, you trade for an hour or two, and then you go out and you're like, I can do this. You're rewarding yourself. You're training yourself to actually be happy in what you do and not kind of seek that constant adrenaline hit or that constant more money. And this is hardest when you're red, when you're down money. When you're actually losing, that makes it more difficult because you're looking at a red P&L, even if it's on a month or a day or a week, and you're thinking, man, I've got to get this back, and I just have to, and I have to sit here and trade all day. No, you don't. What you have to do is train good habits. Nice. That's good. That's what, 3 hours of trading, so you're done by noon? 5 a.m. is when the market opens on the West Coast, I think, right? Or am I wrong? So understand how your body reacts to the different times of day. 6:30. Okay, 6:30. So you trade an hour and a half. If you're done by 8. Okay, 6:30. Thanks. 7:30, 8. Yeah, hour and a half. That's sweet. Trade for an hour and a half. Like, you get up at 5 o'clock or 4:30 or whenever. 5 o'clock, sit down. Or not 5. I think 5 because I get up and work out. But you get down at 5 o'clock. You get up at 5:30 or something. If it was me, I'd go work out, go do whatever. And then come, sit down, trade, work for 2 hours, and you got the whole day to yourself. Or an hour and a half, and you got the whole day to yourself. That's a life. I'm not going to move to California, but that's pretty sweet. West Coast time, and then you have your day. So training good habits, and a lot like Noel said, and he posted or he talked about somebody who talks about, and I didn't check the source. I saw the actual article, but I didn't overly check the I didn't check the source of it. Yeah, you could do it in Arizona. I mean, I'm going to Georgia, so I'm staying on the East Coast. But you could get it in Arizona. I guess I could get it in a lot of different places. And he said some stuff about training your subconscious and training yourself to follow your rules. And rules are important, and rules are important in life to success. The people think, or it's a lie, I see people think, but that freedom means you can do whatever you want to, and that equals happiness. That's not true. That's a lie. Doing whatever you want to does not equal happiness. Otherwise, yeah, it just doesn't. Now, I could get into that, but I don't think I will. It's a different topic. Doing whatever you want to does not make you happy. As a matter of fact, some of the people who can do whatever they want to are the most depressed people. But rules, systems, worth and value that you can give. There's so many different things that make you happy, but I'm losing my train of thought, but just going in, just living without rules is not good in a sense. And so also trading without rules is not good. If you sit down and you're trading, and we say a trading plan, and Noel said this too, simplicity is key. I think simplicity is key for a lot of things. My trading plan is extremely simple. You think trading plan and you think this in-depth, crazy thing. It's not. It could just be like, hey, wait for relative strength or weakness, take a breakout, buy near support, take 10 trades, high conviction setups. Like, it could literally just be wait for conviction, take 10 trades. Like, it doesn't have to be something that's super in-depth, that's super all this. It could literally be something simple. It's not always just size down. It's not always do this. But you have to actually respect the rules you make for yourself, just like you have to respect the rules you make for life in order to get the most enjoyment out of it. If you are a cheater, like on your spouse, you are not going to have a happy marriage. You could do whatever you want to, right? Going back to my idea, or going back to the thing that you can do whatever you want to doesn't make you happy. You're not going to have a fulfilled marriage if you and your spouse are not loyal to each other, right? So you can't do whatever you want to. There are rules within a marriage. If you're an abuser of your spouse in either direction, you're not going to have a happy marriage, like the Johnny Depp trial. They could do whatever they want, right, I guess? Are they happy? I don't know. You answer that. So same thing for trading. When you understand that the rules are there that you create to reward you, and you allow yourself to get fulfillment from following your plan and your rules, whatever they are, over time, you will get that long-term reward. And within that, you will also get your short-term rewards. Someone messaged me and said that, I don't remember if they said it in chat or they messaged me, but they would have had their biggest week if they have followed their rules this week. Looking back, they had their rules and they broke them 2 or 3 times. And because of those rules, if they take the rule-breaking trades off, they would have had their biggest week. They broke their rules, and they didn't. Think about that. It's the same way for the rest of your life. If you're going to the gym consistently, you're going to see gains in the long term that you can feel that you're going to feel rewarded about. Whatever your goals are, whether it's, muscle or fitness or strength or, whatever it is, you're going to get that long-term satisfaction. And in the short term, you're also getting satisfaction of just going there and hitting it, and you feel a pump or you feel good about yourself. You're like, yeah, I did really good. So you're getting actually both of those things over the course of that if you're consistent with it. If you just go every now and again, all you're ever going to, and you never really follow the rules, it's like you might be okay. You're not going to be as bad as you did if you don't, but you're going to be sore all the time because you're not consistent. You're not eating right. You might get hurt. You're not going to be making the gains. You're going to be frustrated with yourself. So someone who's not following their rules trading, you're not training those 2 parts of your brain. You're not allowing the quick term reward of that consistent kind of like getting up, getting after it, winning. That's the only thing that's triggering in your mind. And you're overloading on that throughout the day because you're trying to hit it, you're just clicking. Man, I got to make more money. And so you're breaking the rules and you're overloading on that dopamine, which is stacking that is not good. And you're not allowing yourself to ever get to the point where you're seeing that long-term benefit of consistency and of the following the rules for a month, that lack of toxicity that you're going to have from doing that almost relaxing, or just like, hey, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm good. Look, I didn't do anything crazy this week. Oh, come on, Arkansas. That's not cool. They're up 4. That's bad. And you don't have that consistency, and then you're you're not going to experience that long-term satisfaction. And you can even zone out from there and say, like, your family needs being met, all these other things that might not be being met because you're unwilling to take satisfaction and to take the pleasure that you get from trading and making money in the long-term benefit of doing it. And I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Let me know if it's making sense. If it is, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know that it's making sense. I don't want to just be rambling for no reason. Or so if you want me to clarify, ask a question. I can clarify a little bit. But it's key to do that. It's key to allow your brain, when forming a habit, to have both of those things. And an article that Noel was talking about, and the study that XO sent me, said and I'm not saying yes or no to doing this, take a jar, or a cup, we'll say a clear jar, and take 30 quarters or 29 quarters, however many days there are on their month. So let's say there are 5 trade. Let's just take 4 times 5. Let's just say 20. For the sake of this, let's say 20. I want to follow my trading plan for 30 days. And I'm going to set a jar on my desk. I'm going to set gold coins, dollars, whatever, quarters. And every day that I follow the plan, I'm going to take a coin at the end of the day, and I'm going to put it in that jar. Whether I won or lost on the day doesn't matter. I'm not saying on green days do it. I'm saying on days when you follow your plan, do it. Win or lose doesn't matter. The next day, you come in, you trade. You trade well. Let's say your plan is wait for breakout, 10 trades, or say only take know your limit eights, moving averages, unless some other reason, like whatever your trading plan is, whatever setups you're trying to take, whatever the rules are, and you follow it. You follow it the next day, that's 2 days in. You follow it the next day, that's 3 days in. Do that. If at any point in the month of that 20 days you fail, take your coins and dump them out in front of you. No long-term satisfaction of filling that jar up. And you could have had a green day when you broke the rules. It doesn't matter. Sit back down and start over. Train yourself just like you do in life, just like you do in marriage, just like you do with raising kids. If you have kids, it sucks sometimes when they're young. I mean, it's super. I love it. It's super awesome. Like, kids are amazing. They're fun. But you have really bad, they're really bad days, really fussy sometimes, less sleep. But there's long-term benefit to it. There's long-term benefits to things in life when you follow the rules and you do what is right. And there's consequences to when you break the rules and do what is wrong. It's true in marriages. It's true in life. It's true in everything. And I'm just using marriage because it's an easy one. Relationships, friendships, family. And do something like that. Train yourself to follow the rules. People just say, just do it. I hate to tell you this, but at some point when it comes to discipline, you just got to do it. You just got to start somewhere and do it. And there's nothing, like, I'm going to expand on this more and more thought out and planned videos where I can talk through it, and when I get a better understanding to the level that I think I can teach it in a sense, as opposed to freelancing what goes through my head and what I'm kind of studying. But why does this work? Like when I trade the best, it's when I follow this myself outside of trading and in trading. It's like I trade really well during the week. It's like, hey, you sit down, you're hitting that early. So it's like, for me, it's like, hey, I get up before the market opens, hit the gym, take care of the kids, take the dog for a walk. It's like I've already accomplished some things before I sit down. Then you sit down and you're trading. So your mind, you've already got a reward. And Geronimo says, and I think this links to it, although I don't know if he's thought about it, he says that you need to assign reasons to your trades. You need to assign wins and losses. I think are reasons for wins and losses. Otherwise, your mind will do it. And if you're just clicking buttons and making money for what you think is no reason and no reason to take this trade, your mind is going to assign a Like, oh, well, you just smashed the crap out of this last time. You didn't have a reason for it. And now you're taking this other trade and there's no reason for it and it didn't work. So there's like cognitive dissonance going on. And I think when people tilt, that's what happens. And maybe that's a discussion for another video. But a lot of times when you tilt, I think that's what you're doing is you're taking trades even when you're winning that are not good setups, that are not intelligent. And because you're doing that, then you continue to do that and you do it on, and eventually that stops working because you're not taking intelligent trades, you just got lucky. And the cognitive dissonance gets in because you're rewarding your mind. You're giving your mind a dopamine hit for making money when you shouldn't be making money. You're saying you're good when you're not really good, and eventually that catches up to you and you go down. So you have to assign good reasons to your wins and to your losses. You have to assign the same thing for your day. So it's like, hey, I get up in the morning, I do my stuff, I'm clear-headed, I do whatever, work out, train, relax, whatever it is. Sit down, start trading. It's like, okay, I sit down, I trade. All right, do some trading. Good trading. All right, now it's an hour and a half in. I'm going to go for a 2-hour walk on the beach. I'm going to go, all right, it's East Coast time. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock, hour and a half in. I'm going to go enjoy this. I don't care what the market's doing. All right, guys, trading good. Unless you see like, oh, man, this next 15-minute breakout's going to be really good. All right, hang on, I got to catch this. Because there's a trade you're looking forward to or something. It's like, all right, guys, bye. I'm good. Like, I'm going to go do my thing, go lock it in, go do a little bit of working out, go play with your kids, go whatever it is. Go enjoy that relaxing. Don't keep that pressure on you of trying to hit that initial hit, because at this point your body has that dopamine that it needs, that reward system that you need every day to get up and do what you're going to do. Instead of waking up and feeling depressed, you're going to wake up and feel motivated. Now hang on. So you have that now in the morning because you have rewards outside of trading that you've given yourself with work that you've put in. You trade, you get your reward, you're trading, win or loss, part of the job. You trade. Did I trade well? Did I follow my plan? Yes, okay. Now, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to eat. I'm going to go get some sunlight. Can't tell you how important sunlight is. Another thing I'm looking into, very important. I'm going to go get some sunlight. All right, I go get sunlight. Go spend some time out, go do my thing. All right, now I'm coming back around, and now I'm doing... Now maybe I trade again. Maybe I sit back down if that's part of my plan. And I allow myself to make a few more trades. But now I'm relaxed. Now I've had the serotonin. Now I've had the other hormones that are triggering when you're in your brain when you relax and when you actually enjoy what you're doing and you let yourself enjoy what you're doing. As opposed to just getting burnt out all day, stacking stuff on, and you're just wired and you're just sitting down just looking for the next really good trade. Then you come back in and you make, if you trade anymore, which you don't have to. You should have rules for if you come back in the afternoon that you follow too. Whether or not you trade, it doesn't matter. Or you just stop and you continue on with your life. Then you take it and you follow that rule. And you're rewarding yourself twice or in two different ways throughout that trading day, which helps you form a habit. And then in a sense, you could throw a coin in a jar or whatever you want to. But you're rewarding yourself for good behavior. That's key. If you want to build a habit, if you want to build consistency, you need to allow yourself and your brain to have both of those things going on. Because you'll have both of them if you trade good and consistent over time. And then at the end of the month or the end of the week, you'll look back and you'll be like, dang, I had a really good week. And I didn't, I wasn't crazy. I didn't blow up. I wasn't too, like, I did this. I followed my rules. And look what following my rules gave me. Same thing for working out over a consistent period of time. You look out and you're like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. I like this. Look at what that consistency gave me. Your marriage, relationship. You're consistent with that over a long period of time. You look back and you see people that have been married for 40 years, 50 years, 30 years, and you're like, man, they really got something. What do they have? Consistency, working together over time, and if you want to form good habits and you want to form discipline, I think doing both of those things early on is key. I think allowing yourself to have both of that in trading, because trading is such a dopamine adrenaline rush hit when you're doing it, you really have to allow yourself to experience both of those things over the period of time, and that will allow you on a psychological level to develop good habits. And if you're already doing this, then good. And I'm just trying to put a reason for the things that I do and why they work. And when you're like, oh, Gator, you're so, like people say, like, oh, you're mentally strong, or you can just handle losses, or you can just handle this stuff. I can't just handle anything. No one just is born with the ability to lose whatever it is and keep trading, or with the ability to just do these certain things. There's a reason I can persevere through it. And I never want to sit down and have somebody tell me, oh, you're really good at doing this. It's just you. Like, oh, you're just really disciplined. No, I'm not. I mean, I might be disciplined, but it's not like, oh, you're just naturally disciplined, or you're just naturally this. No. Like, anybody can be that, but but it has to be trained, and it has to be developed. If I'm that way, it's only because maybe things I didn't even realize I was doing, and that's why I'm trying to pin it down, because I want to be able to tell you and tell other people what it is. I want to be able to pin it down so I can say, hey, it's this, or let's start working towards this. Sleep habits and all this other stuff is important too. So it's really something that takes time and it takes work, and that's why the coin in the jar thing, when you look at it and you see it filling up, and then maybe instead of dumping that 20 out afterwards, you get another 20 and you just watch that jar fill up. And then I bet if you look back at your P&L over the course of that jar filling up, I bet that P&L is filling up too. You start breaking that rule, I bet then you see that inconsistency. And when you actually truly realize what causes gain and growth, you'll realize it's not one super hard workout that grows all the muscle. Talking now about working out, it's actual consistency over time and under pressure and over time. Same thing for trading. You're under pressure every single day. You're consistent. If you're consistent and you continue to do it and you do it well, that's what's going to get you the growth. Not one day, not one workout. If you're red 6 figures on the year, you're only one way to get it back. It's not going to be in one day and smashing it out. It's going to be consistency. And the problem with people when they get red is they look to make it back in a week or a month. Like, hey, okay, I can make 10 grand a day, so I'm going to make 10 grand a day. And they're not happy until they hit that. It's like, I can make this back in 10 days or 20 days or whatever. That's a good way to lose it. Like, that's a good way to be done trading. You have to develop consistency and consistent habits in order to get there. And this is just kind of the start. And the reason I say that the dopamine, the serotonin, the stuff that's in your head that actually triggers a reward system in your head is what you want to think about. You want to think about how you feel. And then when you walk away and when you take those good days and when you turn the computer off and you're stressing to go back, take a breath. Take a breath, relax, find something else you like to do. Go enjoy that. Don't worry about the market. The market's going to be here tomorrow. You're going to hit it tomorrow. Enjoy what trading gives you. Enjoy that. Then come back the next day. Set yourself up again. Your early morning routine. You come down, you trade. You're getting ready to do your thing. All right, you're taking your trade. You're doing your stuff. Hour and a half in, 2 hours in. All right. Good trading for the day. We're consistent. Now I'm rewarding myself by backing off. This is the stuff we get. A little bit of relaxing afternoon, time with the kids, video games, with family, whatever else it is that you're doing. And you have that other reward that gives your brain the recognition of the long-term benefit. You have to realize that your brain, we need that reward system, and you need that serotonin. You need that second step to get there. If you don't have that, then you're not going to form those good habits. You have to have the second one. If you just have the dopamine hit, you're just going to be an addict. You're just going to be searching for the next high, and you can't get it, and you can't find it, and you're going to go through depression, and you're going to go through all this other stuff. Look it up. Again, more coming on this later, but look at how that affects you, and what that does to you. If you're just constantly running that and stacking that on top of like an adrenaline junkie who can never find his next high, you need to allow yourself to have both rewards. And if you can do that, then you can train good habits. And something I've noticed when I'm just plugging stuff in and looking and doing the reading about what I do and how I do it, and then, okay, is there a scientific or a reason behind this that causes me to have this quote unquote discipline or whatever it is? Okay, so what can get me there? What do I look at? How do I take a loss and come back? How do I not have a tilt day? To go back to XOXO's original comment, he was saying that there are these people. How do the consistent traders get over this? And Noel, a lot of really good comments. Go and read Noel's stuff. It is that discipline, but part of it is that it's the recognition of the long-term goals and gains and benefits of trading. And where you're at, and you allow yourself to have that long-term benefit, you can begin to create not only the short-term habit and the desire for that pump in the gym or that whatever it is, that trade in the morning and the stuff that's coming in there, you get that reward in your system, but you also allow yourself to experience the second half that your body needs, which is the fulfillment of the overall purpose in your trading, which is whatever your overall purpose is. And I think the coin in the jar thing is a pretty handy thing to do, where you can actually look at it and be like, I'm being really consistent, and look at my P&L consistency. I have an empty jar there because I'm not following my rules, and my P&L hasn't moved in a month. Just a thought. Just a thought. You do what you want with it. See if I missed any comments. I like that, Rebecca. 5:30 workout. East Coast, I'm still looking to get up at 5. I think I'm going to start 5 a.m. workouts. I had stopped for a little bit because the kids have been sick and I'm in the middle of moving or prepping to move, but I'm getting back into them. Just seeing if throw any comments down if there's anything you guys think I missed or want to add to it. That's true, Con. If you stick to your plan and have a red day, it's half a loss. If you break your rules, that's 2 losses. Yeah, man. So true. I can't, I say it's just as easy as following the rules. It really is. You at some point, you just have to get there. And hopefully, what I'm saying tonight rings somewhat true with how you develop habits and how you form habits and rules. You really have to love that second reward system as much. It's kind of like after a hard day of working outside or mowing the lawn or some massive job that just took all of it out of you. You just lay back, crack a cold one, or lay back and just look at it and be like, that was good. It's not a dopamine hit the whole time. It might really suck, but you look back and you're like, that was good. That's your mind releasing that serotonin. That's that second reward system that your body needs. And then the next time you go out there to do something, like how many people say, man, I'm just looking forward to cutting this, getting this job done, because at the end of it, I'm going to have this nice done, relax. I'm going to have this, relaxing drink. I'm going to spend this time with my spouse, whatever it is. And then next time they go and they just go and do it, but they know, hey, at the end of this, I'm going to be good. And that's kind of like me with trading. I look at it, and even if I'm having a bad day in the market and I have a loss or some bad trades or I'm not trading good, my long-term view says if I follow my rules, I respect myself, and I respect who I am and who I am as a trader and what my long-term goals for myself and my family are. I look back and I'm like, I'm going to be good. It's like, hey, it's a hard day today, but I'm going to be all right. It's like, we're good. And that's how I try to look at it. And that's how I try to get there personally. And that's how, in a sense, I have that discipline. And it's not just I'm naturally disciplined, or any of the other traders are naturally disciplined. They probably in some way or another have this. And I'd love to talk to the next guys that I have on the show, whether it's Geronimo, CT, Rose, Mitchell, and kind of talk through some of this stuff. Yeah, that is right, Calvin. about chasing. Chasing, I get, especially in a choppy market, you definitely get wrecked. And you have to, a lot of people like the dopamine is definitely a much more like, and we're a reward right now kind of culture. Like, everything we get, everything we're designed from your TikToks to your Facebook to your, the food that you eat. Like, you used to like have to, people used to have to work for their food. Now you can have a box of Cheez-Its sitting next to you and M&Ms and everything else, just giving yourself like rewards for doing nothing, for being lazy. And it's not necessarily, you know, a good thing. So you definitely, that the first one is very strong and learning to control that that you know intake and of that dopamine and that hit and that adrenaline, and not seeking that, but instead seeking the overall calm stuff by the first thing, allowing your drive and desire to be a good trader to allow you to take good trades and to see the result at the end of intelligent trading can cause you to, see those end results. And the fact is some people just aren't going to get it. And I hate to say it, but everyone's not going to succeed. Like, there's a massive failure rate as traders. Um, and it's because I think people don't figure this out. It's like, yeah, I made money and I got consistent. Sometimes people are just, bulls. You're just trading a bull market, and anytime you market in, you'll be good. And other times people are following strategies. But I think a lot of it comes down to people don't understand consistent mindset, good habit forming, and then you tilt and you get wrecked. And I think tilting is kind of is a at a neuro level, and I'm not a neurochemist or anything, but this is just some of the stuff I've been reading. I think tilting comes down to um, kind of that chasing that high and kind of that needing that hit, as opposed to the discipline of the next good trade and what I'm looking for. I trade really well when I'm looking for the next setup, and you guys hear me on the mic and I'm like, hey, I'm waiting. Look, Tesla just bounced off the 8 3 times. It's sitting on the 8 now. I'm going to try it long. Like, I'm looking for the next trade. I'm looking for what the market's doing overall. It's like earlier in the day, it's like the Qs are ripping and Tesla's not ripping. And then I'm like, okay, I'm out of this. I don't like it. I'm leaving it alone until it breaks out. I'm going to go trade something else. You trade Amazon because it's going, or Google, or Square, or Facebook, AMD. You trade something else that's working. That allows you to zoom out and kind of see that bigger picture. If you're just chasing that hit in Tesla, this should break out, and you're just going for it, you're not doing a proper OODA loop, and you're not really looking at where everything's at and what you should be doing. You're just honed in on one thing and what could be working, and can be a very dangerous thing. It's good to be able to zone out and not chase that hit. And then you do get that by being in control of your emotions and practicing discipline, and practicing consistency. And if you guys have questions or thoughts about this, you can always DM me too. If you think I'm way off base, or if I'm somewhere near, still just doing a lot of reading on it and trying to understand the reasons that these patterns form in our lives and in our brains, so I can kind of like this is what it is. These are things you can do. And I think some of the things I said tonight are definitely some of them. Good, Iliad. I hope that you're I believe you can be consistent, and I definitely believe that you can do it. You just have to do it, in a sense. Control your impulse, and we all have impulses. Your mind tells you that you want something. You do it every day in your life. Yeah, I really want this, but I can't have it. It's like, I really want to do this. There are times in every person who's watching this life when they've said no to something that they want to do because there's a bigger desire there. Whether you're a working out person and you say no to the dessert because, you've had enough, or, you say no to, we talked about spouses, so say no to infidelity because you love your spouse, or you say no to something because you're religious, you have a faith, you believe that there's a higher power. So you say no to stealing or doing something that is wrong because you believe you answer to God. And so you're like, I have something else that means more to me. A lack of controlling impulse is, we're always going to do what we want to do. I don't believe in, another discussion for another time, philosophy, but in total free will. You're going to do what you want to do, but what you want to do is bound to something. and the want to is what is broken. So you're when it comes to your trading and stuff, if you really just want to sit down deep in your mind and deep in your heart, and this is what I mean, I'll explain it in a trading context, and you're like, I want to trade and I want to make all this, and that is your number one drive, is maybe just making money and printing, or something that's causing you to continue to trade, then you're going to do that in the end. You're going to break your rule and you're going to lose discipline, because in the end, you don't want to be disciplined. You want to make a lot of money. You're like, I want to make $1,000,000. You don't want to be disciplined. You want the result of discipline without having discipline. So you're like, I want the Lambo. I don't want to do the work to get it. I want a happy marriage, but I don't want to actually do the things that require me to have a happy marriage. I want this thing, but I don't want to do what it is that's actually going to get there. You want the result of it. But in reality, you have to actually want it, because that's where the will is broken. The will is actually attached, the will is bound to something. So what do you actually want? If you want to be disciplined, then you're going to work on being disciplined, and putting that coin in the jar at the end of the day is going to mean more to you, or as much to you as the P&L at the end of the day. And you have to get to the point where it's there. If it's not, you're never going to get there. And I'm just being honest with you. You'll never have it, because you don't want discipline. You want the result of what comes after discipline. You want the body of someone with works out without eating and putting in the discipline at the gym and at the dinner table. That's going to require you to get there, and the sleep and everything else is the same for trading. You're not treating yourself, and you're not allowing yourself to focus on discipline. You're focused on trading and money and all this other kind of garbage that is a result of discipline in the market and following the strategies. Your will is not where it needs to be. Your want to is broken. Your want to is on the wrong thing, and it's the result of discipline. Your want to should be discipline in all aspects of your life, more than the money that you make trading. It's the same reason, like why, using the spouse example, just because it's an easy one, if you do not do infidelity or whatever, it is because you want your spouse more, you love her, you want the long term, whatever it is. If you want that other thing more than her, then you will take the other thing, because that is what you actually want. Your will is bent to that, or you've trained yourself to be okay with that through other means. I could expand on that and say that you train yourself through pornography, through whatever it is, through giving yourself something that you want, and then when the time comes, you have trained yourself to do the wrong thing so much that you then take the wrong thing, and you forget the long-term benefit. Trading's the same. You bend, you make bad habits and bad habits and bad habits, and like maybe you survive, maybe you get by, and then it catches up to you. Then you really screw up. Give up the long-term benefit, the long-term satisfaction, because you're chasing that dopamine hit. You're chasing that adrenaline, that high. Trading's the same way. All of life is the same way, but the way your brain works is the same, and that's what I'm trying to get at here. You have to train discipline, and it sucks, and it's not hard, or it sucks and it is hard, and you actually have to spend time doing it. You actually have to work on that more than you work on some of the other stuff. Yes, the strategies are important. Understanding the pivots are important. Understanding when to buy is important. But the reason we say have the plan and the trading and follow your plan, just follow it. That is key to the long-term success, because that protects those big tilt days. So XOs was saying, it's like, yeah, you have 3 good weeks and you blow it all out in a day. Why? Because you weren't practicing discipline that day for some reason. Because you had a few really good days and you're like, I'm good, I'm better than all this, I'm going to do whatever I want to. Yeah, what happened to David? Well, I go biblical, plenty of examples of people who have pride and arrogance and where they're at and who they are, and then what happens to them right after they do that. The market will always check you and smack you down if you lose focus, if you lose discipline. You have to be disciplined, especially through the good times. Discipline through the good times is going to help you stay disciplined through the bad times. And one of my kids are possibly about to wake up, so I might have to run upstairs if he does. Thoughts? Good comments here, but So I hope that little ramble there made sense. I should cut that. I'll make it a thing on the front. The good stuff, Blademan. Just reading your stuff. Good stuff. So that's really what impulse is. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with turning off your P&L and not looking at your P&L. Work on, like, I don't know what you're playing off. You're just taking 10 trades. Just log in, take 10 trades and be done. Like, obviously you should know where you enter and exit, so you know if you're getting good fills and all this stuff like that. But hey, I got 5 winning trades and I'm done. I got the winning trades and I'm done. Log out and you're good to go. Thanks, Patterson. I can't endorse any of the books or anything like that if I haven't read them. I can say read Proverbs in the Bible. That'll help you. I can actually, there's a podcast. Let's see if I can. There's a guy who, one of the guys I'm reading, he's a Stanford, or yeah, he's got a podcast too. And he was on Jocko's podcast recently. Let me look. What was his name? With Andrew Huberman. Look up Andrew Huberman if you want to look at some of the stuff and some of the stuff I'm reading, the podcast I'm going through to try to place an idea and a reason to tone it down so I can actually put it to you guys in a way that I can say, do this. This is it. This is why I am like I am, as opposed to just being like, yeah, Gator's a disciplined guy and he's way over here and I'm just slowly down here and I can't figure it out. Yes, you can. Everybody can. There's nothing I do that someone else cannot learn. But the fact is, a lot of people won't, because a lot of people aren't going to focus on the discipline. They're going to focus on the P&L and the trading, and a lot of the other stuff. Yes, sir, Joel. I am. Are you? I assume you mean not right now. Can you have the main strategies you use documented and steps take, trade, win 1, 2 minutes, stochastics curl? I mean, so I'm not sure exactly like what you're asking. If you're asking me, can I make videos documenting when like this strategies and stuff? Yes. And I'm going to. I've talked about, like, I'm in the middle of moving time and all this stuff. Summer, through summer and end of summer, I'll be making videos, and midsummer to end of summer, I'll be doing videos and stuff explaining a lot of this strategies. But here's the thing about strategies, and here's the thing about strategies is they're more of an art than they are a hard rule for me. It's like painting a picture. There's no like perfect, although technically sometimes there are, but generally speaking, like, there's not this exact mathematic equation for the trade. So a lot of it is based on the rule sets you up for the trade. So it's like, okay, this trade fits within my rule, but now artistically, is this what I want? How am I going to paint this? How am I going to take this trade? So it's like, okay, this is a 21, but when do I take it and how do I play it? Here's an example. There's multiple ways to play Tesla this morning. Some worked, some didn't. So let's look at this. This is Amazon. Let's pretend we took Tesla. Kelly took Tesla down here. This was Kelly's entry on Tesla. Pulled back. I actually was watching, so Kelly did it here. I was actually watching, did I mistime this? So I wanted, this was wrong too, by the way, today. I fibbed this morning. It was totally a different number than this. My charts were all wrong. Either way, it pulled in some. I expected a 50% retracement. Even there, it wasn't a 50% retracement. So you can do from the close to the open. I did from the opening print to the 200, and expected more of a retracement. This was wrong on my charts this morning, the number I was looking at, so that's so wrong today. Either way, You could go off the 1 minute 21. Kelly entered here. Um, and he took this trade. This is what I mean. The artistic part of this is he held all the way. Did he hold until here? No, because I left. He held until here, I think. And he might have even held until here. I don't know. But in generally speaking, that worked. I did not take it there, I don't think. And I did trade it a few times in here. I don't remember when, where. But let's say this. You could have taken it down here, and you could have just held this whip down. You could have just held all this and it's like, hey, it's either breaking below 71.57 or I'm going to hold it. That is a way to play this. Or you could say, hey, I took a scalp, or I took a scalp, whatever, and now I'm going to wait until it hits, we're going to go to the 2 minute. I'm going to wait because it's choppy, and so we're in here, we're choppy. A lot of people probably took it here. Okay, so we had a failed breakout. I took it here. I think I lost or broke even on this trade because I thought it was going to rip and go higher like Amazon's chart. It didn't. Very depressing. Would have been an amazing day, and I would have been done in 30 minutes and had a 5-figure day. Said I didn't. Oh well. It pulled down. She's like, okay, we're chopping around. I'm going to wait until the 21 hits. Here's another artistic way to play an overall trade. Okay, the 21 hits. Here's another way to trade it at this point. Yeah, you could still be in from Kelly's entry. Or you could say, hey, I'm going to get in. Okay, let's say you get in here, but then it chops around on the 21. You could say, I'm going to hold it until it breaks this low. You could say, I'm going to take it when it breaks out. But you see, if you take this 1 minute breakout here, it chopped down and then went up. So how are you going to play it? For me, I'm like, hey, I'm going to play it when it hits this level. So it's like, I don't know what I did here, but I don't remember. But it's like, hey, I'm waiting for it. I noticed like, hey, we're sitting on the 2 minute 21. Next time it pulls in, if it pulls into 650, I'm going to take it. If it breaks out, I'm going to take it. We pulled into 760 and it went. I took it and then it went, and then it had a 5 minute breakout and all that. So I am going to post to answer your question and go over strategies and how I play them in this, but they adapt and they change. So any strategy video, it's good to know the strategy. Like, okay, this is the strategy. For instance, this is a know your limit 21 on the 2 minute. This worked. But some people might have lost on this depending on how you played it. So I'm going to post strategy videos and talk to them. But there's never an exact, to me, it's about how you play it that makes it comfortable for you as a trader. I know how I like to enter names and when I like to enter names to make the trade easy and comfortable for me on a choppy day in a name. There's some days when I just buy stuff as it's breaking out. So that part is part that you have to adapt for yourself. But I will have all of the main strategies I use and different indicators and what I look for and some of this other stuff. But especially when it comes to stochastics, a lot of the stuff is an artistic use of them to be looking at something and to realize you could have a pop. Later, JC. Yeah, man. That you could have a pop and you take a chance kind of based on the overall. It's like, okay, are there enough indicators going in my favor that I like this high conviction setup? So I have no idea what the stochastics were doing at that point in Tesla. Actually, let's look. Let's pan. I honestly don't even know. They were down at the bottom. So you're down towards the bottom, possibly curling up around the 21. So you could have used the stochastics on the 2 minute there as an indicator. You probably could have looked at it on the 1 minute too. Less so on the 1 minute, actually. I probably wouldn't have paid much attention. But they were at the bottom and probably starting to curl up there. But I'm trading on a 2 minute chart at that point in the day. So yes, in the sense of am I going to do that? And if you ask me the questions, generally speaking, I do, a lot of different things. But I'm going to go over a lot of those strategies. I don't know about childhood, Jay. Yeah, they were super choppy, Con. I really wasn't paying attention to stocks early, stochastics. I really pay attention to stochastics later in the day. As you get ranges forming, that's when I pay attention to stochastics. Yeah. So it's like stochastics matter when I have a range that's forming or a general move that makes it easy to read into a support level, and stochastics line up for extra support. But they're more of like a extra conviction to kind of give me an idea of where I'm at and to paint a fuller picture than it is a hard and fast trade. Like I never, almost never, just buy something off of, oh, stochastics are curling up, I'm gonna buy this here. Like it's a just part of an overall picture, and I will do videos in the future discussing that. And Jay, yes and no. So I'm not a believer of and I don't know enough about Freud and thinking to seriously critique it, but I do not believe that you cannot recreate habits. Habits you have formed, I don't know about childhood, but through childhood, yes, and through not only in childhood, yes, so people have learned habits through childhood, they've done all this. Yes, you can be at a disadvantage, but you're either here's where it comes down to, you either can make an excuse for yourself. I'm not just talking about you, but anybody. You can either make an excuse for where you're at, and you can be like, yeah, it's not, I'm not whatever, and I have all these different reasons, or you can work on reforming the habits. And I think the first show I didn't necessarily talk about that there are personalities that aren't suited for trading. I might have, but just the different personalities that there are, and the strengths and weaknesses of both of them, or the 3 or 4 of them. I do think there are personalities that are not suited to trading, but they're usually the people that would just be straight overwhelmed. Either the gamblers who cannot control that addiction, or the people that are like just too stressed out and just literally can't look at stuff. But you either have to take control of where you're at. Florida probably lost. You have to take control of where you're at, and you either say that you're going to begin to develop a new habit and create new habits, which is totally possible. It is 100% possible to do, is to reform those brain waves and to reform the way you see things and view things in life. That is entirely possible, over definitely difficult, but you have to reprogram yourself, or you can just be stuck in where you're at, and you can be stuck there and say, well, I just had problems in my childhood, which is a kind of Freudian, and like, oh, well, I just wasn't raised right, and I just had this going on, so I'm just going to stay in the failure state, and I just can't break out of this. No. I do think that there are personality things that may make things harder or easier for you. When it comes to just becoming a successful trader and being able to trade consistently, you can form good habits around trading, and it might take you or someone else longer who may not have had, let's say, the benefit of Marine Corps discipline or parent discipline or something else that allowed you to develop some of these things subconsciously earlier in your life that you now realize were a hindrance or a benefit. But you either just say, you throw your hands up and you say you're screwed and you just, quit, or you say, I'm going to work on changing this, and discipline is Jocko Willink and the famous stuff, discipline equals freedom, and you're like, I'm going to become disciplined. I'm going to work on discipline in my life as much as I'm going to work on trading and making money. The making money is second, the discipline is first. I'm going to reward myself for being disciplined, and I'm going to work on reprogramming my mind and myself to get better. Or you just sit there and you're like, I'm just not there, and I'm just not a good fit for trading, and I just can't do it. If you accept that, then just quit. And you can keep falling back to that. Not you, but you or anybody. You can fall back to that, and you can be like, it just can't be done. Or you say it can be done, and it's going to take time, and it's going to take discipline, and it's going to take work, and I'm going to have failures, and along the road I'm going to fall off, but I'm going to persist with this, and I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to work on the long-term goals and the long-term mission of what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to get it done. And I'm going to get it done. And one day at a time. Like, you don't lose 500 pounds of fat or 200 pounds or be 100 pounds overweight and lose that overnight. It takes a long time for someone, let's say if you're 150 pounds overweight, it took a long time for you to get to where you're at. It's going to take a long time for you to lose that weight healthier, to get back in the right lifestyle. But by training and creating a good lifestyle, by good training and creating good habits in your life and reprogramming yourself to see food differently and training differently and discomfort differently and all that, you can become an amazing, you can then get in shape and lose some of that. And yeah, sure, you might surpass people who used to just naturally be strong. Over time, if they don't train and you're continuing to train and they just kind of goofed off and then they slacked off, one day you'll pass them. It might take you longer, it might be whatever, but you can still get there. But you have to actually put in the work on the discipline, not just put on the work on not wanting to be the overweight person. In the case of the example I'm giving, and over time you just put that discipline in and that work to work over time, and you're going to have faults and failures along the way, but you just work on getting there. And just like the person who's trying to lose weight, you're not going to lose that 150 pounds overnight, but you just work on it 1 pound at a time. And you're going to have setbacks along the way, but you stay on that road and you get there. Or you beat yourself up and you completely destroy yourself. And you just quit and you give up and you say this. And when it comes to trading, it's not necessarily a bad thing to say this isn't for me. I don't think right now I'm at a point where I can do this. I don't think that's necessarily wrong, and I wouldn't tell anybody to trade or not to trade. But I do not believe, I think the gist of your question, that you cannot be a trader because of things that have happened. If you're really focused on the discipline part of it, I believe most can do it. At least most people. If your problem is consistency, I would say that I believe you can do it, because I believe anybody can train to be consistent. I don't believe anybody can be a trader. But I believe if you're here and you've been trading for a while and you can make money, your problem's consistency, your problem is discipline, I believe you can develop discipline. I believe discipline is learned and you can learn it. Not everybody can be a trader. Not everyone's smart enough or dumb enough or whatever it is. Not everyone can see it. Not everyone can handle the mental pressure and the money and everything else that goes into it. But if what you need is discipline, every single person can learn discipline. Everyone. That can be learned. That's what you have to learn. If you can make money. That's just my 2 cents, and you can take them for what it's worth. So I hope that kind of answers the question, or kind of gets to the concept of it. Is this child waking up? These child's just randomly start making random cries. Or I think it's them. Or I'm hearing phantom cries. I don't know. Just my opinion. That is true. Younger you are, the easier it is to create new habits. And also the first thing you learn is the hardest thing to unlearn. So it's like what you learned first is going to be what you default to. So it's definitely harder, but the question is not, is it harder? If like Jay or anybody else just said, hey, is it harder to learn? Yes, it is harder if you've had a different life, like if you've had a different life situation than me or all this other stuff. Yes, it is actually harder for some people to learn than others. And I fully admit that and completely believe that. But if you say, is it impossible? No. I mean, read Jordan Peterson's book and some of the stuff he's done, a lot of the different, like you read people changing their lives all the time because of different things, There's plenty of stuff out there when it comes to just training yourself and to creating and developing discipline over time. And it's a lifestyle and it's a choice, and it has to be a choice in trading. And kind of the purpose of the Friday Fireside, just with myself, because, reasons. CT said hi, by the way, to everybody. His house is empty. He's shredding papers, getting ready to drive across country. So definitely said hi to everybody. Wanted me to send love. And yeah, that's why I agree. I definitely don't disagree with that at all. It will take more effort and more time. Cheers. Feeling bullish. It's going to take a lot more effort and time for people who have developed the other thing, but it's not impossible. It is just going to be harder, and you have to accept that you're going to have more failures along the way, I think, for sure. But that doesn't mean that it's That doesn't mean that it's impossible or that it cannot be learned, only that it's gonna be a little bit harder. Cheers to CT and JR, Rose, all the banditos, the highwaymen, everybody out there who be you know, making this channel great and making this room great. We have an amazing family here, guys. Great traders, amazing traders. Absolutely love trading with everybody here. You guys are the best. What do you mean? Blademan. About money and gambling. Like your last comment, kind of how we were raised with regard to money and gambling, etc. And you think that is probably across the board with most of us, though you'd think. Oh, your relationship with money is a big one, your comment before. I agree your relationship with money is big. That was kind of the personality thing on the first videos that I posted, talking about like different people's view and how they view money. And Rose and I have talked about how we feel, how we look at money as like monopoly money kind of sometimes as we're trading and trading aggressively. I really agree. Also with Proverbs being a given, and then also Jocko's 2 books are really, really amazing books that I cannot recommend more highly. Absolutely incredible books if you haven't read them. I'm actually not a gambler. Like, just generally speaking in regards to it. I was not raised that gambling was right. Obviously, Christian. Discipline equals freedom, leadership, strategy, and tactics are 2 really good books that I highly recommend reading. My parents really weren't that either. When it comes to the high risk taking, Christian, homeschool kid, all that other stuff. I joined the Marine Corps and, all that. I've, I guess, been more generally speaking. Leadership, strategy, and tactics is what I said. Proverbs does equal wisdom. So does Ecclesiastes. You should read Ecclesiastes. Read Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon. But wisdom literature in the Old Testament is really incredible. Yeah, leadership, strategy, and tactics is really good. A lot of the stuff from Discipline Equals Freedom too is in there, but it kind of puts in a leadership thing and it puts it to you. But I wasn't raised necessarily like that, and nor gambling. I don't gamble. Don't care to gamble. I don't view this as gambling. I'm buying something and selling something to somebody. I'm buying a stock or an option and I'm selling it to someone else who wants it. I'm not putting money in a slot for a. There's no such thing as random, and there's no such thing as chance. Everything is like mathematics when it comes to gambling and stuff like that. That's why you play blackjack. They don't let counting cards. Jocko Willink, yeah, he does have a strong mind. They don't let card counters like play because it's not actually random. There's a hint of it in there, but I don't believe in randomness. I don't gamble and stuff like that. I'm not into it. Stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. If you read Proverbs, you'll know all the answers. People are like, and we're off, not really off topic, but people will people will talk and they'll be oh, how do you know this or how do you do this stuff? Just read the book of Proverbs. It's like it's all in there. Leadership, Strategy, and Tactics is the name of one book, and the next one is Discipline Equals Freedom. Those are the 2 books I was talking about that I read. I think I have another one I may or may not have read. Let's see. There's another one on the list. Extreme Ownership is the other one. So Extreme Ownership, sorry, there's 3. You should definitely read Extreme Ownership. And I think the other one, I might have been misdoing it, would be So the dichotomy of leadership, extreme ownership, and then leadership strategy and tactics, I think is the other one. I'd have to punch them in. Yeah, the dichotomy of leadership, I might have said them wrong, and extreme ownership. And then leadership strategy and tactics are the three. Sorry. So I missed those. What up, 4C? You'll be changing your name up in here. Or the way you type it there. It's funny. Y'all are awesome. Love you guys. Really amazing books. Turn this TV off. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, thoughts for tonight. That's, unless y'all got something else for me, other questions or stuff, I appreciate it. A lot of good stuff. Hope y'all had a good week. This month, last month, been so much better, I think, than the previous months. Really, I think the year is kind of picking up and getting used to trading this down market. And I mean, I like the volatility in the market right now. I really wish the futures guys would stop taking it up overnight and down overnight, and I could get these breakouts during the day. But you know what? I'm only going to trade the charts that are in front of me. Nothing I can do nothing I can do about things I can't control. So you just got to trade what's there. If you just get pissed off every day that the futures guys are ruining all the trading for us, day traders, and making these moves harder, it's just going to make you mad, and it's not a good thing. Yeah, check out his stuff, man. I think you'll really like it when it comes to the discipline stuff. And same for Jay, like you said, if you're still in here. I don't know if you read his stuff. I'll ask you later. But like there's anything over time. I do think there are people that just won't learn and will never get it. But part of being able to get something is like trying. And I think people that legitimately try things, especially when it comes to discipline and stuff, over time can learn and at least somewhat develop some of those things. There are obviously extreme exceptions, so I'm not talking about the extremes, but the people in the middle of the bell curve, I think, can learn them, even if they don't necessarily have them, because you do have them in areas of your life. So don't cut yourself short, guys. If you're still hanging out, you want another random motivation, one, leave a like here. Don't cut yourself short, and don't cut me short by not leaving a like. If you don't leave a like, CT's wife might make him shave his mustache, and we can't have that. So definitely throw one of those up and share the content. On top of that, don't cut yourself short, because you practice discipline in areas of your life, whether it's your marriage, whether it's with your kids, whether there's some area of your life that you actually practice discipline in. So if you do that, you know how to do it. You just might not be equating it to this. And so you're doing things in other areas of your life that are not here, that are not trading. So think about that. Spend some time meditating on it. Spend some time, thinking about the different ways that you practice that discipline and allowing yourself to have that long-term reward, which really is a big part of what allows that discipline, and find ways to put that into practice here. And hopefully this chat was kind of a benefit to some of you, or all of you, some of you at least, for developing a practical way of just saying, hey, just do the strategy, just do it. I mean, it's not that simple, and hopefully I've talked a little bit about how you can find things that you can do to allow yourself to get the long-term gratification, which is how you're going to create that discipline, is having those long-term goals in mind. So, yeah, just my thoughts. More to come on this that's a little bit more thought out and put together in a way that I need to understand it more and understand actually how it works, and then hopefully I can put some stuff that can actually help people, like pinpoint things that each individual and different people can do to to help. But there's a lot of things out there, a lot of good stuff, guys. So yeah, man, it's all about that plan. I'm glad it helps some, Iliad. And to everybody else, thank you for hanging out, thank you for coming. Love you guys. You're the best. Enjoy the weekend. Stay away. Do whatever you want to do, but enjoy the long-term benefits of being a trader. Enjoy your weekend. Hang out. Have fun. I'll see you on Monday. I'll be back here. Be here all week next week for whatever comes in the market. If you have questions, anything else, leave a comment in this video, or you can hit me up on Discord. I'll be more than happy to talk to you guys over the weekend. You know, as long as I got time and all that fun stuff. So that being said, I will see you all Monday.